Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Doug Handy.
And I'm Habir Shinawi, and this is Real Talk, Our Space. Welcome, welcome. Feels like it's been forever.
It does. I agree. I agree. And we are a week behind schedule, if you will.
Mhm.
For those that are keeping track, we do a hip hop focus for the last episode of each month. That would have been last week, which was the last Wednesday of January. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, we were not able to broadcast. So we are very proud to present the first hip hop focused episode of Real Talk Our Space for 2021. So we are back. We're in full effect.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. So it's been a while. We've simply broadcasted. It's been
Mhm.
too long since we've had our hip hop focus. So
Mhm.
good to be back with the hip hop focus. This one is very special to me. It takes me back in the Wayback Machine over 30 years ago when I was at the illustrious Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Back in those higher school days, not in Chicago, but Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. And just it's a blessing just to say that our guests that I still know them to this day because we go back 30 years when we first met.
Wow,
So
that is a blessing knowing
yeah,
people that long and being in contact.
it certainly is. So
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on this evening's episode of Beer?
It's exciting because we have not only people who write lyrics and make music, because I'm always jealous of people who are artistic because I have no artistic bone in my body, but also people who can write and have
Mhm.
inspiration to write. So we have two fantastic guests, and it's always exciting for me to meet your friends and a little bit of your inner circle. And all these poly people, because as I learned in Maryland, they don't ask you where you went to college, they ask you where you
Where
went to
you
high
went to high
school.
school.
Right.
Exactly.
So, which is interesting.
Yep.
But we would like to remind everybody you can follow us on Twitter at Real Talk, our spa one. Don't ask, they give us some of
Right.
those. Instagram, Real Talk _ our space. And you have an idea for a show, somebody who can come on, please send us an email at realtalkourspace@gmail.com. So,
Yep. And please do subscribe to our
mhm.
our
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I want to thank we have all of our subscribers. We have some recent subscribers of the past few weeks.
Mhm.
Welcome, welcome. We appreciate everyone subscribing, supporting, watching, viewing. So we don't want to have all the fun, with just the two of us. So we're going to
Right.
bring on our first guest. And it is my pleasure to introduce Roland Taylor. He was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Be more, stand up.
Yep.
Yep. He is the author of two children's books. The first is The Hip Hop Chess Master. The second is I Know I Can. Roland is also the proud husband. He's a proud husband, and he is a father of two children. He is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and he is a self-proclaimed hip hop head, both an artist and keeper of the flame. So it is our pleasure to introduce and to have Roland Taylor join us on Real Talk Our Space this evening. Welcome, Roland. How are you?
What's good? What's good, fam?
Hello.
Doug, a beer.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you
What's
for
up?
being
What's
on our
up?
show.
What's up? What's good? What's going on, everyone? It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for being on our show. And thank you for being patient about everything that happened, last week. So this is extra special. So we're going to dive right in. We love people's stories. And our first question is kind of like our foundation question. And for you is, what is your migration story or your family's migration story? I know you're a Be More, born and raised, but is there a migration story to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, my whole family has been in Baltimore. I mean, we have some roots that go down south, of course.
Mhm.
Virginia for the most part. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm a B-more kid. I consider myself like a B-more nomad almost because
Mm.
my family, we've been around a couple different areas in Baltimore. I was born in West Baltimore.
Mhm.
Did a few years there, and then we moved out to Baltimore County in the Woodlawn area, and
Okay.
I repped that for a minute, and then we moved back to West Baltimore, and that started my progression. Where I actually got to meet Doug. I went to Roland Park Middle, and from there I went to Poly. Poly stand up, be more stand up. You know what it is.
Yep.
And so I've been in Baltimore my whole life, man, and the majority of my family is in this area. So
Very cool.
that's
cool.
my small little migration story. I'm not trying to go back to Nigeria and I
No,
did
but we learn a
I did do the ancestry.com. I don't know if I can plug that on your thing. I'm not trying to plug it. But,
not at all. But what did you discover?
yeah, some roots in Nigeria. For sure.
Nice.
Oh, nice,
Okay,
nice.
So,
that's awesome.
yeah,
We
yeah.
love hearing those
And-
stories, though. Please share if you'd like.
yeah, no, I'm good on that note, but no, I'm like most of us, we mix with a lot of different things,
Mhm.
it doesn't make it who you are. It just kind of gives you a semblance of, where you may have come from. So,
Right. It's a bit of
yeah,
the
but
flavor.
it's a lot of flavor.
Mhm,
It's a lot of
mhm.
flavor.
We've learned a lot from our guests. I think we had a guest a couple of shows ago who told us his ancestors, what was it, Doug, was among the first who came to
Oh, yeah.
Jamestown or something.
Right.
God, I forget, but that's why we like to ask the story, because it's fascinating to see where people come from. But thanks for your smaller version. Is that what you called it, of your migration
Condensed
story?
migration story.
Condensed.
Condensed migration story.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
So it seemed like it was forever when we still had the theme of the right stuff. That was January theme. So thanks to, Roland being flexible, we still want to, focus on that theme, because you are the author of 2 children's books. And we know that you have 2 children, and those are your inspiration. Go a little deeper for us, though, Roland. Talk to us about, how did that inspiration go from, these are your children, you're their father, and then you write these particular books, which, by the way, I know we're showing them on the screen. I've read these books, like 5 stars. Like, read these books.
I need to hook up.
Dope. This one, I mean, this is. I mean,
rate the books.
Thumbs up.
Ratings.
2 thumbs up.
We need ratings.
2 thumbs up for each.
So how can people? But seriously, are you talking about, like,
5
we
stars.
know 5 stars? What? Go on Amazon and tell people to get it. Here's what the books look like. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So just a little bit about the journey of the book. So the first book was the Hip Hop Chess Master, right? So my son was in middle school at the time where I decided to write it. I wrote it because if you do a little bit of research about boys and reading, a lot of boys will love to read like nonfiction, right? And my son was a big math head, science head, did very well there. He did good in English too, but he just wasn't much of a reader. So I was like, let me see if I can put something together, because use that creative energy. Doug knows I used to write rhymes, poetry, all kinds of stuff. So let me just see if I can write a story. He was my muse. I kind of created the story around him, and it involved hip hop and chess. So hip hop is the culture, man. That's what it is. That's my love. Chess, I appreciate the game. So I said, let me just think of something creative that maybe he'd be interested in sitting down to read, just to get him to read more. So that was really the motivation behind actually writing it. Now, publishing it, I wasn't really going to do much to it. I was like, I'm going to write it. I'm going to give it to him, have him read it, and that's it, to be a part of our legacy. And then my wife was like, you should get that published. And I was like, I never thought about it, but why not? So, I put it out there, and I have a publisher, and, I did a couple book events, things of that nature. I really wasn't trying to push it. It was like a thing that I did on the side. So, but now since I've written the second book, I was like, okay, well, why don't I start to remarket this again? So that was years ago. The new book, I wrote that maybe about a year ago. That was motivated by my daughter. And honestly, we would just walk in like we do, just a normal walk, family walk. And she was looking up in the sky. She was like, Daddy, I want to reach the stars. I want to reach the sky. And I was like, you know what? You can. You can do that. So I was like, man, that's the brain spark, right? So I was like, that's the second book. That's the second book. So, that was not as long as the first one because I tailored it to her. She's only 2.5, almost 3. So, and that one I just decided to publish through Amazon. It was just easier that way. So,
okay. Yeah.
That's the story of the books. That's how it happened.
And I got to say, I love the fact that even though you're, like you said, a 2 or 3 year old inspired the writing, you have, you end the story with these affirmations. And I just love the fact that I'm curious, Roland, it seems like, at any age, your daughter will be able to come back to this book and look at these affirmations that you put in this book. So just to cap it off with these affirmations, really just a beautiful book, very inspirational. Hip Hop Chess Master, I got to tell you, I love some of the themes in here, like the generativity, if you will, but like the main character, checking in with his grandfather, being inspired by his grandfather, the relationship with his father. So just really, wonderful theme. So I do hope, to your point, that, we do have boys in middle school and that age pick up this book, other books, see themselves in it, and just run with it. But like I said, definitely I enjoyed, to read. I love reading. That's my thing. So don't read a lot of children's books, I admit. But these two, they definitely connected with me. So
it was probably an easy read for you, Doug.
It was. I'm known for
Sure
taking
hope so.
forever to read books, right?
Sure hope so.
So these make me feel good. I could get through them in less than a year, so that's good.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, and the books, I mean, like I said, they're inspired by my children, but really inspired by, inspiring them, to persevere and be themselves.
Mhm.
Be motivated to chase their dreams, right? Nothing holding them back, man. As long as we create a pathway for our children, which is our responsibility as parents, we should let them just shoot for the stars as far as what they're thinking about doing with their lives. So, and that's anything.
And what a great legacy to leave for your children, to show them that you love them, but to write them a book, right? Some people do other things. That's a really very cool way. Now, if my kids are watching this show, I hope they don't expect me to write a book, because it's not happening, right? If I do, then I'm coming to you, Roland. I'm coming to you. All right. So let's.
I could be ghostwriter. How about that?
But now you put it out there. Now everybody's going to know, right? I don't know, but maybe let's talk after the show's done.
Yeah, we can do that.
Not only do you write books, as Doug said in the interview, you're a hip hop head. And I think a lot of the guests that we bring on are hip hop heads. And I think that's why we all kind of get along, besides the fact that, the city thing. Sure. But anyway, so talk to us about comparing, contrasting writing books and writing rap lyrics. How are they the same? How are they different? Especially if you have kids versus, if you're writing lyrics for adults.
Right. So books it depends on the theme, right? The Hip Hop Chess Master, it was a narrative, right? It was a story. So I had to think from that perspective,
right?
Of writing the story, building, the concept from beginning to end. What you do with lyrics as well, but that was very focused. I Know I Can was more about, upliftment, affirmations. It's a very short book. Lyrics, the way I wrote my books is really the way I write my lyrics. Like when it comes, it comes. So you better have something to write down something that lyric on, or you're gonna miss it and you're gonna kick yourself if you can't remember what that lyric was, because it's like, man, that was fire. And I'm like, I didn't write it down. So it's gone. Just kicking yourself for it. But nah, so the creative energy, it's very similar. But it just depends on what you're writing about. That's all. And then you grab motivation from your experiences, from the people, places you've been, people things that you've been through in your life, and you bring all that together, and hopefully it resonates into something that people can vibe with. Whether it's a book or whether it's some lyrics that you write into a song.
How did you know? When did you realize that you wanted to write rap lyrics? What was it that you're like, man, I want to do this. This is something I'm interested in. I think I'm good, right?
Yeah. So the think I'm good thing, like the ego, like all rappers are egomaniacs. Right. That you have to be.
You gotta be.
You have to be in order to have that confidence to sit down and say, I'm going to write something, put it out there, present it in front of a crowd, and know that they're going to love it. So you got to start with that confidence, right? For me, like I said, I've always been creative, always been like a visual artist, always loved hip hop from the very start. From the first time I heard it, I fell in love with it. And everybody has that. If you're a hip hop head, you have that hip hop story.
Right.
Right. So it was at Roland Park Middle, and my first rhyme was about my Nikes. It was just something. It was something simple. It was a way for me to get in and write something and present it in a form where I wanted to, because I'm a big competitive person, right? So I was like, well, I'm gonna write this rhyme, and this other guy's writing his rhyme, and I know that I can do a rhyme as good as him, if not better. So I'm gonna write this rhyme, I'm gonna challenge him, and that's gonna be it. And we're gonna go at it. So I wrote the rhyme about my Nikes. He wrote the rhyme about his Nikes. Big up the Rock, wherever you at, baby.
Who won?
You think won? Come on, man.
He's not here to defend himself.
He's not here to defend himself, so I won.
There
now,
you
if he
go.
wants to chat, if he finds a way to come, then come on with it. But yeah, so I won that.
You put
So
it
after
out there
that,
in the
man,
universe, Roland. There you go.
man.
Challenges.
But after that,
Love it.
I caught the fever. I caught the fever, man. I just started writing and writing, and I was just doing it on my own, performing. I remember, I think one of my first performances was at my family reunion.
Oh wow.
I was the cousin that could rhyme,
Okay.
and then you had a cousin that could dance, and then you had all the little cousins that were the backup dancers. It's like, y'all get up here, I'm a rhyme. He gonna do that one move that nobody knows how to do, and we're gonna rock the crowd. And this is family, so you got the family ain't gonna boo you. They might boo you afterwards. But when you're up there, it's like, you rocking the crowd. So yeah, man. So I just got the bug, man. Loved it. I thought I was good at it. People were vibing to it, and it was the culture, man. Everybody wanted to break dance. Everybody wanted to rhyme, beatbox, you name it. We lived it.
You don't happen to still have those lyrics, do you? That to the Nikes.
Let me see. Air Nikes are nice, but I must say, with the snakes on my feet, I'll blow you away. Air snakes. So it was about my Cortez Nikes.
Oh yeah,
nice. Snaps to that. Okay, you just don't recall it. Very nice.
You had the snakeskin joints too.
It was real basic, man. It wasn't Tariq. It wasn't it wasn't Kendrick. It was real basic. A basic 4, 5, 6 liner.
Nice. Love it. Love it.
But it worked. It worked.
Good. So we got some folks in the chat. We got our friend
what up, Z?
What up, Z? So Z's she's down with the culture too, Roland. We'll probably hear from Z later on.
Give her a shout out too. She's a big Delta as well.
Oh yeah, there you go.
She does all the time.
There you go.
And hell up, my mom's a Delta, so
there you go.
Very nice, very nice. Meant to be. And then here's Wahid. Yep. And giving props. I wish I knew how to write. It's a great talent and a way to express yourself. I agree. We talked about as much as I love to read. The writing takes it to another level, right? So no doubt. Want to go back to the book for just a minute. And I forgot about this. Like I said, the book had a pleasant surprise. It actually has a soundtrack, if that's fair to say. It's 2 songs that you can see on SoundCloud, and we're going to share with some SoundCloud links. So a bonus on that. How many books are you going to buy that have actual original rap compositions? Right. And we talking lyrics, beats, music. You get the whole package, right? It goes right along with, so love the creativity on that. And you also, since you are writing for, children or children's books, you have illustrators. So what was the process of choosing the illustrators? Or, like you said, you start off writing, but then you got to reach out and illustrate unless you do that yourself. Talk to us about some of that too.
So that was interesting because I had never written a book before. I didn't know how to find illustrators. So me growing up in Baltimore, I'm like, where are the artists? Micah, right? Yep. So I said, let me go put up some flyers down in Micah. And see who bites. And part of that was me being cheap. I'm like, look, I can get a student who's hungry.
Right.
I don't have a big budget for this, right? So I put up flyers. And, the artist sent me samples, and I picked one that I thought I could vibe with. So shout out to Bethany. She did a great job with the book. And I use other social media means for the second book. I did my research a little bit on that one. So. But that one was real organic. I mean, it was, like I said, it was new, my first book. It was fantastic going through that process. Like you said, Doug, I put together a theme song. That's the marketing in me. It's like, how can I sell this? How can I differentiate this book from all the other books? Man, this book had songs.
Right.
Like what books have songs, right?
Right.
So I'm a hip hop artist. I'm gonna do the lyrics. I'm gonna give my man big shouts out to Beat Surgeon. Circle Native Vibes. Ali put the scratches on it.
Nice.
Crew. Old school, man. Yeah, exactly. Right. So and then I brought my man George in, and my son. My son spit on the lunchroom battle. George.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was real cool, man. It was like that's what we did at Poly. You got the aluminum can, and you got the table, and you rock the beat.
Yep, very organic. And so that was George on there. I thought I recognized his voice.
That was George?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That was George.
George and your son.
We were going back and forth as characters that are in the book. And then I let my son get on, and that was part of the legacy too, right? So it's like, and it's funny because I'll play that song and he just gets embarrassed now because his voice is deeper than mine now.
Okay.
But when we recorded it,
Uh-huh.
it was so light. It was so innocent, man. I know he's like probably embarrassed right now looking at this, but yeah. So I want to put him on. So that's part of our legacy, and to build on the father-son bond that's in the book. You know, that was really important to me. So
Oh,
Nice.
that's
yeah, it was
beautiful.
fun, man. It was a
That
fun
is
process.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It reminds me of I'm dating myself now. I don't know if everybody remembers this episode from the Brady Bunch when Peter's going through the change. Sha-da-na-na-na. So your son is
Yeah,
comparing the voice.
yeah,
Oh, that's
no
great
doubt.
though. I mean, hey, he's kind of famous.
Right.
Out
And that
there.
legacy.
Yes.
Soundtrack. How many kids
How
and
about
people
that?
can say they got a soundtrack, right? So,
Yep.
and it's a book
Yeah.
by
Shout
his-
out Aggies.
Oh yeah,
And
all day.
He's down in North Carolina A&T right now. So shout out Aggies.
Oh, y'all
Or
go
the Aggie
deep.
family.
High
Oh yeah.
school,
Yeah.
college.
Oh yeah. A lot of connections. So
Don't worry, I'll be
Yeah.
bringing my people on one day. Deep
one
connection.
day,
Deep connection.
just look at past episodes, right?
Oh, that is-
and
It's all
future ones.
family.
Yeah, that's
all
right.
family.
That's right.
It's
That's
all
what
family.
Real Talk's all about.
Uh,
So speaking of family, right?
mhm. We have our next guest who you did speak of earlier. So we have George Slade Jr., aka Com, who is also a hip hop and rap lyrics writer. He is also a skateboarder, traveler, and band member. And this is his picture when he was in Greece, which is beautiful. And his mantra is nothing ventured, nothing gained. So we have a very philosophical brother coming on with us. Welcome, George Slade
Hey.
Jr., aka Com. Welcome to the show. And
Thanks
welcome
for
to,
having
I
me.
know you have a lot to add to this camaraderie right here, which I'm enjoying. I'm just going to sit back and watch while.
Jorge,
What's going on, man?
what's up? What's up?
Everything's good, man.
So,
Yeah.
same thing we asked Roland, which is the question we love to ask all of our guests. What is your migration story? I know you're a B-more, born and raised
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong. But,
Yes,
do
born
you
and
have a
raised
migration
in,
story, something that you would?
Well, I do have a guess. It's funny. One of my previous jobs, I met a young lady who's an attorney. Her last name is Slade, just like mine. So we thought we were kind of related. And she told me that the Slades all originated, well, the Black Slades all originated from North Carolina. So I know I have roots there in North Carolina. And on my mother's side, I have roots in West Virginia. So my roots definitely are in East Baltimore. So I love to say I'm an East Baltimore kid. And anybody from Baltimore will tell you, we're divided east-west. Even though I rep all of Baltimore, but the east side is basically, where I come from, with
Right.
roots from North Carolina and from West Virginia.
Okay. Thank you for that. Got it.
Ah, that's dope, man. That's dope.
You guys
You had to
always
do the
perform.
wardrobe change.
Yeah.
You had to do the wardrobe change on
I
it.
know. Now you got to explain yourself. I know. Beer's like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Well, I'm sorry. I don't like not being in the inn when it's also my show. Go ahead.
All right,
that's
Beer.
BS.
Right,
that's
Beer. We got to
BS.
take you back to the episode with Brandon and his son. But that's go ahead. Y'all break it down. I was a supporter of VS, but these are the two. They were VS.
Yeah.
Doug created VS. He bankrolled us, man. He was like he was the silent partner. You know what I mean? The biggest fan.
Okay.
Man.
Yep.
Doug, big man. Much love to you, brother.
Hey man, the love is mutual.
VS stand for
Yeah.
Vital signs.
vital signs.
Vital
Got it.
signs.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. That back in the day, man, when we formed VS, you only had like a handful of like groups. You had a lot of people that were like rhyming, but you only had a handful of like groups that like really established themselves as groups. So it was a tight community. Everybody was building together. Ciphers together. We meet and just hang out, rhyme, just talk about life, man. It was great, man. It's so, and I hate to sound like I'm dating myself. I know I got the grays, Doug. George is the only one that looks like he did in high school.
I know,
but
I wish.
But I don't know, man. And I talked to my son about hip hop now, and I'm like, I don't know. But I don't want to hate on it. But I don't know. I know my vibe. I know what I grew up with, and I know what hip hop culture means to me. and you can't have hip hop without the culture.
Well, yeah, you're not alone with that, Roland.
Yep. Yeah, it's come up quite a bit on the show with our guests too, right? But I want to make sure we honored. So, Colin, we got your migration story, right? Because that's a big part of what we do here on Real Talk. Okay, because we're about to jump into, what Roland just brought up. So, talk about that. First of all, you got some love out here from Raymond Taylor.
Ray. What's going on, man?
Brother, what's up,
right.
Ray?
Ray, thanks for being a part of it. All right, grill these dudes, Ray. Hit them with some questions. So,
he knows the story. He knows the story. I mean, he's been in the studio. He's been in the architect's lab.
Right.
When we sweating 150 degrees in the summer.
You can bring it up,
trying to block everything off to soundproof it, and you like, man, you soundproof it, but you like blocking out the air too.
Did it look like this? Go ahead, Doug.
Oh, don't forget the most important thing though, the cookies.
Oh man,
the cookies that his mom used to bring.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Peace to Beware's mom, man. She used to hook us up.
Oh, right. What have we here,
Doug? What is that?
What have we here?
See, Doug. See, Doug. Wow.
Look at that hairline, man.
Look at those high tops,
intact, man. Yeah.
Yo, look at the high top fade, B.
Yes. Wow,
Doug. How many of these do you have, my man?
I had to dig with the crates. So, brother, this is straight the print copy, but I will definitely shoot y'all.
Yeah.
We just take the picture.
That.
I will send it to you. Piece of history.
I've never seen this.
I'm just letting y'all know. Doug also said this to me today. I was like, oh, by the way, can you throw that in the studio? I was like, of course.
Y'all
know, hey, Roland, what you say when inspiration hits you? And I told Bear, I said it all. Now, anybody want to explain? So anyone who knows, we talk about the studio. That's Brandon in the back doing his thing on the boards.
Yes.
So we got it's a lamp. It was a lamp. The lamp is missing off the top. That is a clothes hanger. Anybody want to tell what was that pop screen made out of? Anybody recall what the?
Oh man,
the pop screen was like Brandon's mom's pantyhose.
Yo,
I did not know that.
That was not purchased.
Right.
No. That was created. It was not purchased. There was no Amazon. None of that existed. You made what you needed to make. I mean, wow. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Look, but we were hungry back then, just young. Look at us. No wrinkles. Just
Only wrinkles is in that piece of paper with the lyrics. Paul reading off of. He had stuff in the pocket all day long, bro.
Oh my God!
Yeah, man, that's wow. That brings me back, man.
Yeah, we had.
I think that's when he was in. That was the original lab. That was North.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Yep, North Bend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Beware.
Oh man, look at that.
What's up? What's up, Mom?
Oh man.
So Jorge. All right. So real quick, since Mom's hopped on, right? We gotta tell them about the Apollo incident.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can go ahead. It's the traumatic.
Did you ever hear this story, Doug?
I think I know. I have, but let's refresh. So a bear, you're in for a treat, I'm sure. But
yo,
are we talking about the Apollo
we were doing
Harlem?
Yes, the Apollo.
Okay.
The Apollo. Right. So we, we were performing and recording and blah blah blah. We started doing some local shows, and one of the things with this local show is that if you made it to a certain level, you got to perform at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. Rub the tree, all that good stuff, right? Sandman, all that, the real Apollo, right? So we get up there, we confident, we about to hit the stage, blah blah blah. We do our thing. Our boy John, shout out to John, wherever you are, man. He did his thing with the windmill. We rocked it, right?
Quaku too. We got
Quake with the beat. Yeah, man. So we rocked it, man. We did our thing, right? But so it just so happens that we were using a beat that the star performer, the sign group, was using. Okay, and they were and they were supposed to come on after us, right? So we're the hip hop group on the amateur night. They're the sign group that everybody knows the song. We rock it. Which is odd because if you're a hip hop act and you go to the Apollo, they looking to slaughter you. They looking to slaughter, but they didn't. Like, we made it. So we feeling good. We go off stage, blah blah blah. When you go in the Apollo, there's like this dark tunnel to get to backstage, right? So I go out first. John's after us. George, I don't know what he was doing, but he was lollygagging. So George comes through the tunnel last. All of a sudden, you hear this ruckus. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, why you steal my boy's beat?
Mm-hmm.
George comes through the tunnel, the end of the tunnel, and we can all see now because it's lit up in the back. He's like, yo, I got hit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Yo, I don't know if we can say the name of the group. I'm not going to say the name of the group just because I don't know how that's going to impact your show.
I want to know now. Doug is going to
tell you afterwards because I don't want to impact. I don't want to impact the show. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it was a well-known group.
Wow.
Our mothers weren't playing that.
Mm-hmm.
So our mothers were backstage and they yoked up these dudes.
Yes, they did.
Nice.
Straight up. They were like, look, y'all don't hit our sons, blah, blah, blah. And they had them apologizing to our mom.
Mm-hmm.
They were so sorry, blah, blah, blah. These are hard rock, you seen them on videos, hip hop artists. Broke them down to their elements.
And one thing I want to add too, because I see Neil just signed in. I think we should say Neil, because Neil told me this as well, because Neil just sent a message. But Neil actually approached him about it as well and got the deal on that. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Twice as nice.
Shout out to Neil, yeah. And they should be on the show as well, Doug, when you get a chance. Twice as nice should be on here as well.
Yeah, they were our inspiration too, man.
Yes.
Okay. No,
Twice as nice.
Twice as nice, man. You talking about back in the day when you only had 2 radio stations playing hip hop.
No doubt. I remember WEBB is where it started. That's where it started for me. Let me say for me. I remember listening to Rock Him on WEBB. AM, right? So here's our man Keith Lewis, another good poly brother. Keith Lewis, that story is hilarious. So Keith loves his hip hop and he loves a good story. And he's
Yo, you should have been there, B. It was crazy.
Y'all was that high school right after high school?
And listen, because of that, we couldn't go back up. We made it to the point where we were supposed to go back to the Apollo, but our parents was like, nah.
Right. Sure was.
It ain't happening. So who knows what would have happened?
No coincidences in life.
Right.
They say everything happens for a reason, though. So
that's right.
Hey, go figure.
True indeed. All right, so let's take it back a little bit. And Roland, you talked about some of your inspiration to get started with lyrics. Calm, I know you had an inspiration somewhere, but what really fascinates me is that 30 plus years later, y'all are still rocking as a group, right? As a duo, 2 MCs. So talk to us about that process, about how you all collaborate and create, lyrics, and what's the process? Talk to us about that as 2 MCs.
Well, usually Roland usually comes up with the concepts for the song, man. And he'll just throw out a topic, and we'll collaborate and talk about like where we want to go with the song, what type of vibe we want to create. Sometimes we'll throw lyrics off of each other, just to get like a subject matter. And we'll use how we used to do it back in the old days is we get like a beat and say it's this type of tempo, and we'd rock to that type of tempo, and then we just come together in the studio and make it happen. So it was usually that type of process. We talk together on the phone. Back in high school, we'd be on the phone for hours.
We actually talked.
Yeah.
There was no texting.
Right.
There was no video chats.
Yeah. You couldn't email a beat,
Yeah, no, there was no email. Wow, we are old. So so the collaboration. So the interesting thing with us is that, how some lyricists, they need a beat first and they'll build their lyrics onto that beat. Right. We would write first for the most part. Every once in a while we say, okay, let's take this beat home and see what we can do with it. But for the most part, we'd have the lyrics already, and then B would lay out all the beats that he had, and we would like format the lyrics that we already had and the choruses to the beats that he had, and made it work that way. So that's a little different than actually a lot of cats that I know. They write to the beat,
right?
And we really didn't do that much. So I don't know if that's what gave us our unique sound, or what have you. But that's really how we came up with our songs.
Mhm.
And I have to give a shout out to Jahar too, man. Scientific Sounds,
Yeah.
because after we really had two DJs in our lifetime. It was Brandon and it was Jahar. So
Mhm.
big ups to my man out there, Scientific Sounds Affinity Crew, all those brothers, man. Much love. And we got like our core group of friends, man. We got some spitters in there too, man. Cool was good.
Mhm.
So yeah, man. So the collaborative process, it was a little different for us, but man, it was so organic.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
was so
And
organic
fun. And
and
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and fun. It was just a great time. Great way to grow up, man. Grow up in hip hop. We
Yes.
grew
Yeah.
up in hip hop.
And
There
you
was
can
no
listen to
separation. It wasn't just, hey, we like to listen to hip hop music. Nah, man, we were hip hop.
Yeah.
Like seriously, and we still are hip hop.
Yeah. I
SoundCloud.
just wish, man, we were kind of, in this new generation where we could go on YouTube and, throw our music out there. Kind of like
Right.
Brandon's son was saying, there's so many venues and avenues where you
Hmm.
could promote your music nowadays. If we had just been born, a generation later, like Brandon said, we were basically trying to get a record deal, and
Hmm.
coming out of a city where you didn't really have that many hip hop artists at the time, it
Right.
was really difficult for us. We were doing all these performances around town, performing even in DC, trying to get recognition as well, going to all these hip hop conferences.
Mhm.
If only we had, the venue that these artists have nowadays. I know there's to a degree there's a lot of saturation of the music now, oversaturation of the music, but these guys, man, if they work hard enough and they use the avenues that they have, they can make it.
Right.
You look
Yeah.
at Baltimore now, you look at all the artists coming out of Baltimore now that are growing up or blowing up, I should say. Baltimore has its own hip hop sound now, whereas back in the day, we had our own sound, but you struggled to get that sound heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny. You said we were shopping demos. That was the
Yeah,
plan. Like that
yeah,
that was the boilerplate. If you were a
hmm
rapper back in the 80s, 90s, that was it. That's what
Yeah.
you
yeah,
did. Like
Yeah.
you made demos, and you shopped them around and
yeah,
you tried to get a deal. You loved
yeah,
the
Right.
music, but that was your focus. Like we're gonna
yes,
we're gonna be hip hop artists.
right,
That's the plan.
Right.
yeah,
So Calm, this was all you.
hmm
This was your quote, right? So talk to us about this, unpack it a little bit, so to speak. Acting at the intersection of aesthetics and mathematics to craft meaningful ideas that endure. Break that down a little bit for
Ooh,
us.
ooh, that's
Well,
deep.
basically, math, a lot of it is just recognizing a pattern, and you can use that pattern
Mm.
to develop or to understand, circumstances or things that you are trying to get an understanding of. So it's the same way with hip hop. Hip hop is a pattern. You have 16 bars. You have a time limit. You have restrictions. It's the same in math, but you can also use those things to build and create a newer sound. You can also use those things. You can create different ideas. So, just like math, and they both, you have to be very disciplined. If you go outside of the rules, you'll be punished.
Mm.
So, yeah. So those are the intersection is there for me. You just have to use your discipline. You have to stay, you have to understand the theory. Like hip hop, there's a theory in hip hop. You have your five elements of hip hop. So you
Mhm.
kind of have to understand that as well, and use that as your foundation. The same with math, and you come up with geometry, trigonometry. So you have those things, your algebra, your formulas. You have your formulas that you use. So it's the same thing with music. And if you look at all types of music, you'll see that a lot of musicians are proficient in math. A lot of them have math backgrounds. So it's,
Right.
it's, it's never surprising to me when I read that, a musician was studying physics in order to understand, how to create a song. I was just watching a documentary. I forget the name of the musician, but he released an album about 2 or 3 years ago, and they did a documentary on this, where he basically was trying to transform the art of sleeping into sound. So, and one of the ways he did this was he talked to a mathematician in order to get the correct frequencies. And he wanted to play this. He was a classical musician. He wanted to play for 24 hours straight. So it was really intense, but it was really intriguing. I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't off the top of my head. But it just goes to show you the intersection of math and music.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got a few guests with some comments. So Herlene, who spends time with us, good to see you're back. So thank you, Herlene. We missed you. Looks like you might have missed us. Good to be back. Muhammad, we hear from time to time saying, hey guys. Muhammad, good to see you. Got another shout out to Baltimore from Lloyd Allen, fellow educator. So Lloyd, good to see you. Good to see you. Baltimore represent.
Yes, sir.
So we spoke, and I want to go back to this topic though, of the writing and math. It's ironic you say that, because we always say, I got this from Doug, there are no coincidences in life, but for my job, we're writing these courses for online courses. And one of the sessions today was the connection between writing and math. Exactly. That's exactly what it was about. Now you talk about this, but just the connection between the two and how you said that baffles I'm not a math person. I wish I was. But like you said, it makes sense and there's rules and there's theories, but music is math, right? And the rules and knowing how to read music. So thank you for explaining that for the people out there, because, people just see things in very linear, no pun intended, ways. But it's so ingrained in everything that we do, and music covers so many of the arts. But I thought it was ironic that I just attended a session about connection between writing and math, and here you go talking about the importance of the connection. So thank you for doing that. That's pretty awesome.
No problem.
Yeah. So
one thing I want to add to that is since we all went to Poly, which was like crazy math, science heavy. Like, the liberal arts side was there, but you were focused on math and science, right? So you almost needed like that balance. Well, for me anyway, I needed that balance and that outlet. So, okay, look, my mind is trying to figure out this calculus problem or, this programming or whatever else. But on the flip side, what my other half needs some energy too. I need to feed that side. So, when I wasn't doing my homework, I was writing. If I wasn't doing my homework or my class, I was creating a song in my head or something like that. So it's that balance in life. Life is all about balance, So yes, the one feeds into the other for sure. I definitely agree with George, how he used that analogy. But for me, it was also about balance, using both sides of the brain, making yourself a complete person. And I think everything kind of fed into each other. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, you want to throw that comment up, Keith?
I do. There you go. Right. So Keith, right. That's funny. We were definitely steep, and I agree. You had to. It almost caused you to find that balance, right? Because we were so steeped in that math and science. But so Keith paying testament to what Roland has shared as well, and Colin broke it down for us very nicely. So.
Yeah, well, we called, when I saw that comment, I was like, wow, that's very deep and philosophical, where Keith is in our crew, Miss Dr. Philosophy. That's Dr. Philosophy. So, Keith, you may have somebody, on your heels right there. Lloyd is saying, I am a math person. Okay, if you say so, Lloyd. Right. I don't know. I'm just developing more math experiences. At my age, I think I'm done. All right. But I would love to take lessons from you, Lloyd, and I go back.
You're an educator. You're
never done with that.
That's right.
That's right.
When was the last time anybody used trigonometry I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
And then Lloyd and I, we've written curriculum together and whatnot. So
I didn't know there's a connection. Get out. You learned something new. There you go. Lloyd is good people. We know each other way back too. It's a small world, I'm telling you.
It is.
And I got a shout out to my cousin Amber. Hello, Amber. How are you, love? So
yeah, very nice. That's good. Y'all bringing them up. So we got to throw this on here because I love this brother. Y'all be cool now. But this Vernon's my brother, right? We've talked to him about this before.
Oh, okay.
But this is how good of a brother he is. It does not matter that he chose the wrong school.
Right.
Just a testament to this is a brother. He's phenomenal. So. But Vernon, that's our brother for sure. So good to see you, Vernon.
That's funny how I got to kind of give that preface before he brought Vernon's, you know.
I just
Go ahead, Vernon. Do you?
Hey, look, that brother that I beat back in Roland Park, he ended up going up to city too. So
Yeah.
I think we need to do an entire show about the rivalry between Poly and City, right? Is that the rivalry?
we can do that.
Man.
Yeah,
That is
You
true
don't have
rivalry.
enough time.
Yeah.
I will be
I know,
absent
right?
probably that day, right?
It might be like a limited series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, gents. So we're still talking about hip hop and writing and all of that. So tell us your top 5 hip hop lyricists. That's a skill.
Yes.
It's a big skill, and that's a
do it.
big honor. So
Can't
you
do
can't
it.
do it, Roland,
Can't do it.
at all.
Can't do
Can
it.
you kind of
Can't do
condense?
it.
You give
That's-
us a condensed version of your migration
It's
story.
blasphemous. It's blasphemous. You can't do it because hip hop is so vast, right? It's all about like influences, and your influences change throughout your how you grow within the culture. So it's funny because we'll try. We'll, like the group, our friends, like we make an attempt at this, like maybe twice a year. We'll throw it out there on the chat. Hey, try to name the top 5. Can't do it because it's just too vast. Like I could say influences, maybe. Like for me, guaranteed 2 top influences for me is LL.
Okay.
And people that know how I rhyme and the way I present my lyrics, they can probably see that. You're like, oh, wow, I see that. Yep. And Rakim.
Okay.
You know, peace to Rakim. I think he just turned 50 or something like that. He just had a birthday.
He did. He had just celebrated his birthday.
Yeah. So those 2 for sure. Now I can go generations. I mean, I'm down with Tariq.
Yeah.
Spitter. I mean, what are you gonna say?
That's 3.
Yeah, a beer's down. You talking about black?
But I don't want to. I can't confine it to the top 5 for him.
That's 3.
That's right there. You did 3. You got 2 more. That makes 5, right?
I don't know, man. Don't quote me on the top. Just leave that out of it. I'm just gonna
okay. We'll just change it
artists.
to how about your top 5? What did you say? Influences.
So so we can fast forward. You know, Kendrick. You know, definitely feeling Kendrick, for sure. I know Jorge. That's 4. And I'm gonna have to go with a group. I can't just go with the individual. So I'm gonna say Tribe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you stole my top number 1 right there, because I was going to put Tribe as my number 1. Hip hop group. Even though it's top 5 MCs, but I'm gonna say top 5 hip hop group. So I'm gonna go with Tribe. Number 2 for me has to be De La Soul, especially for their consistency and their creativity. I don't know if any other group really can match what they've done. I mean, and they're still rocking to this day. So I think De La Soul, and maybe I'll switch it and say De La number 1 because of that, and then Tribe number 2, and then number 3, because like the connoisseur said, hip hop is so diverse now, and it has so many genres and subgenres. So I'm kind of gonna go underground, and me and Doug, we kind of talked about this, but my favorite MC/producer, and I know a lot of people would say Pete Rock, but I'm gonna go Odyssey.
Odyssey, I knew it. And y'all bear that resemblance. I don't know if there's anything about that too. Y'all kind of look alike.
Oh man, that's funny. But I mean, he's so great, man, and he can rock, solo albums. He can rock group albums. I mean, The Streets Won't Let Me Chill, classic. So I'm gonna go Odyssey there, and then I'm gonna throw in another underground group, and I'm gonna go Little Brother. Not only do they have classic albums together, but they have classic albums solo artists. So I mean, that's just incredible to me. Pooh has a classic and Sleepers. I mean, Tay has a classic. Not only that, he has an R&B album that's, I don't want to call it a classic, but it's close to a classic. And then for the 5th one, I'm gonna go Gangstar, man, just because like the connoisseur said, a lot of times it's how you feel at the moment. But I feel like Gangstar, man, especially with Primo and Guru. You had Primo, who's one of the best producers of all time.
Absolutely.
You had Guru, who's I won't say he's a top 10, but I mean he was pretty influential, man. If you look at MOP, how they birthed MOP, nice and smooth, just their whole crew, man. Trying to think, the name escapes me right now.
J. Rule,
Thank you. I couldn't remember. Yeah. But I mean, they just birthed their own crew, and with so many diverse styles, it's hard not to, So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that would be
the
my list
sound,
at this moment.
the sound too,
Yes.
Jorge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it may not be like a part of their crew, but like when DJ Premier came on board, without Gangstar, you wouldn't know about DJ Premier.
Yep.
You're right.
And then everybody he's worked with since in those classic beats.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at his work with Royce the 5'9", man.
Oh yeah.
Come
Oh yeah.
on,
With Prime.
Incredible.
Hey, Voice is another one, man. That's why I said,
Exactly.
you can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Too many
tough.
dope. It's too many dope
It is.
artists out there.
Right. And Keith and I, we've talked about it. We've struggled a bit. And Keith,
Yeah.
he's run down a few of his top fives. He's been a guest. Definitely, he's part of the crew. But I really appreciate what y'all sharing. And then I know to me, like, I was listening to the last Gangstar album, instrumental. I was just listening to yesterday. But it's funny because it's to me, right? It's the MC, the DJ, beats and rhymes, the boom bap. It's that essence to me. Like, and it's right. It's like, this is hip hop. And to hear this, like, all these years later, I agree. Just, makes my soul smile.
Yeah.
So y'all talked about influencers, and we're talking about legacy here. So, De La Soul, I think if you don't put
and they're what do you call it? Unsung, no doubt. I agree. Keith and I have, talked about them. George, I'm glad you threw them out there. Like you said, the longevity, they still perform as a group. Their sound is fresh to me. Yeah. So no doubt.
Yep.
So speaking of legacy again, to you two, each individually, but the question's for both of y'all. Which artist would you have perform an album about your life and why? And what would the album title be?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know my answer to that one.
Calm, you better give us something philosophical, because when you throw out that quote,
I know you got to come with it.
Actually, I thought of the title for this, but the artist would probably have to be Stevie Wonder. And, shout out to Lorenzo, because we used to rap about Stevie Wonder and his skill all the time.
Nice.
But the title would have to be something like, the road less paved, or something like that. A long hard road, something in that fashion. About traveling and going from one destination and ending up in another. So it would be something like that. The long road ahead. And now that I say something like that, it makes me think about when I go back to your discussion with Brandon. You talk about EPMD. How EPMD had most of their album titles about business. So I guess for me, like, it would be about traveling. So yeah, Stevie Wonder and something about traveling.
Okay.
That's dope. I say the title of mine would be Evolution. Just about growth, just about constant growth. I mean, you're talking about a lifespan of choices and people you've made, experiences and things you've done, how you've grown, how you continue to grow. It has to be evolution for me.
Dope.
An artist, that had to be a compilation, man. I don't know if it could just be one artist, because I'm so many different people at different times. I can go hard like LL and Royce, and then I can come and just be real mellow, just with a jazz tune like my man Miles. So it can be there might be a couple instrumentals on there. And with no lyrics, just chill back and just listen, just relax, because for the most part, people know me. I'm a real calm dude, but I got that side of me that'll just be amped, So I need somebody to represent that part of me too, and just the loving person.
Bring out.
Yeah.
Oh, that alter ego.
What'd you say?
So we all have
yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. George knows, but
I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure after all these years, I'm sure he knows.
Yeah.
But you know what though, real quick, I always thought that's what made us a really good group, because I was always like, I couldn't be as wild as the Connoisseur, you know. So like his vibe would be like, you know, the energize, you know, and get you pumped, you know, and you be amped when you hear his lyrics. And then my side would kind of be, okay, you know, he's a chill, relaxed dude, you know, throw some politics in there, you know. So I always thought like that made our group so unique, you know, like, you know, he could bring that raw energy, you know, that you would feel it in your chest, you know, your heartbeats that you want to just rah, you know.
Rob before Buster, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. But I always thought that blend of our styles always made our music, you know, appealing and made it stand out from other people.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I definitely
like
agree with
about
that.
balance, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
All right, so
Gotta have
fellas,
that
before
balance.
we wind it up, we had a great time with you this evening. We do want to hit you with a staple on Real Talk Our Space. We call it the 4x4 challenge, and it's really straightforward. So we take the 4 pillars of hip hop, graffiti art, DJing, b-boying or b-girl and breaking, and MCing, and we just pose a question to you. Just name somebody from each of those categories. So we got our 4 categories. We'll leave them on the screen. And it's interesting because we have on like a group like yourselves. Y'all can divvy it up. You can each do your own 4. You can take 2 each, however y'all want to tackle it. But we pose a challenge to you all.
All right, I'm gonna go with a fictional character for the first one. Yo, rest in peace, Raymo.
So Raymo from B Street. All right.
I could say Kenny for DJ, but I ain't gonna. I'm gonna leave B Street alone.
But that's an influence, no doubt. Love
yeah,
B.
yeah. Oh, B Street for sure, for sure. Premier DJ.
We got to start keeping tallies of people that talk. We got to start doing that.
I know we do. We got it right. We had to go back and look at the tapes. Yep. Premier's up there. He gets mentions. Rightfully so. Right.
Crazy Legs.
Yes, sir.
Crazy Legs been mentioned before too.
Got a couple mentions. Yep.
And MC. I'm gonna go back to Rakim.
All right.
For me, graffiti, man, that's always a tough one. You know, so I don't know for graffiti, but I'm just gonna say in B-more, we have all these great muralists, man, who do a lot of murals across the city. You travel from east to west, you'll see like you know, murals of like, you know, Billie Holiday. You know, so I'm just gonna shout out, you know, our art scene here, man, and the great artists that we have to do those murals. You know, so I'll say that. For DJ, oh man, Scott LaRock. You know, so let's just go with Scott LaRock. B-boy, B-girl. I'm gonna go with Jean Grey. You know, because I feel like she deserves a shout out as well. You know, I mean, she's a MC, but she's also a B-girl. MC, man, wow, that's a tough one. So, if your name ain't Ice, then your joint ain't cold.
Oh, he's watching. He's watching.
Yeah, so let's keep that local, you know.
Yo, big up. Spice is nice. Big up.
Yeah.
Big up, man. Originals.
Nice.
I love it. Go ahead, Keith.
Oh wow, look at this. Yes. So Keith always trying to make sure folks can bring this one home. Y'all remember Tuffy growing up? Like hit a little arrow on the end too, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. That's funny. Tuffy. Wow.
Yeah.
Tuffy.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
That's right. Yeah. That's Keith. He's our historian, our doctor of philosophy. So we appreciate that. All right. So it looks like the challenge met. And I love this comment from Ray too, counterbalance. Like I said, I know these brothers for a while. It's funny, the energies. I remember meeting these cats in the hallway. We had lockers near each other, right? I'll never forget. And they were riding at their locker. I'm like, who are these cats? So they've been living this for a while. Love the fact that they're still rocking together, that we're able to still reach out to one another and connect. I'm glad that Abir's gotten to know them. This is what we do. Abir and I know this is kind of selfish. We basically just gather good people we know and vibe with, right? That's what we start.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
that's
our
awesome, man.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll do my fake hair flip now that I'm kind of in with this whole, you know. generational thing. I'll keep it at that. But thank you, gentlemen, for being on our show. I want to give one last shout out. You can listen to Hip Hop Chess Master on SoundCloud. Hip Hop Chess Master. You can hear some of their. There you go.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
New Gen Baltimore Hip Hop.
Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
You seen that before, Doug?
I saw it on the video y'all showed. The picture. I remember seeing the picture, but that's a beautiful presentation. That's the album.
Yeah. We took that picture out at Liberty Dam.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Keeping it
years
low.
ago.
And you can find Roland's books on Amazon. I Know I Can and Hip Hop Chess Master. I'll throw up the pictures just in case you were looking for the right ones. And gentlemen,
those books.
Had a great time. Last comment. Here's Lloyd giving us Graffiti Alley. There you go. Thank you, Lloyd. We'll try
Very
to.
nice, Lloyd. Keeping it local. Yeah.
Graffiti Alley is dope.
Yep.
Graffiti Alley is dope.
Love it.
Lloyd represent.
So thank you, gentlemen, again for being on our show.
It's been real. We appreciate you.
Another time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes.
the pleasure was
Appreciate
ours.
it.
We appreciate you, brother.
Mhm.
Yep. Keep doing what you do. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye. So that was
So
fun.
that was
Seeing
fun. Right.
Boys.
Yeah, I had to kind of bring it back. I mean, we're doing a show. We're not just sitting around just shooting the stuff.
Hey, whatever. Let's shoot this. Let's shoot the stuff. I really have like some issues today. So what's our next show, Douglas?
We're really excited. We are in February, so I want to say happy Black History Month.
That's right.
To everyone out there. We have a Black History Month lineup. Keeping it Baltimore. Very excited that we will have Dr. Joanne Martin will join us in 2 weeks. And Dr. Martin is the founder and CEO of the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum. And for my true Baltimoreans out there, you all know what Great Blacks and Wax is all about. Wonderful, wonderful institution for Baltimore. And it is the National Museum. And we are just very excited. She's going to tell her story and share about many things. So we're excited to have her as part of our Black History Month celebration. So really excited for that.
It'll be a good show. So that'll be in 2 weeks. So tune in
2 weeks
for
on
that.
the 17th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We would like to always thank Corey Carter, who just showed off his beautiful baby girl on Twitter for the music. Thank you, Mr. Carter at Mr. Carter Teach. And thank you, Raymond.
Yes.
Great
Ray,
show.
thanks for being with us. I appreciate it. We thank you for the feedback. Thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, Doug. So this was fun. They keep coming. There we go.
Yep.
Right down on North Avenue from the pin above. Thank you, Lloyd.
Lloyd, talk about. See, Lloyd knows it's Baltimore. That's right, Lloyd. Yeah, represent.
All right, Doug. We will connect next week. In 2 weeks.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Have a good night.
See you then. Take care. Good night, everyone.